Welcome to Free Discourse Radio. This is Frank Davey. I'm going to do a little follow-up video on the Paris Accord agreement, and I want to first direct you to Ben Shapiro's show, who he covered this on his episode 311, At Least We Won't Have Paris. That's the name. He does a good job of going through how this will affect U.S. industries and how people are in legitimate fear that the industries in their state will be wiped out. For example, one place, Pennsylvania. Highly recommend you look into that. I also want to talk about briefly some more of the effects that it'll have on us here at home, and also kind of the lapse in commitment from countries like China and India, who are not as bound to this agreement as places in the West are economically. So what I'm trying to say is India and China are not as invested in cutting their emissions at the same time as we are investing so much in it for them to do so. So, for example, India has not set a goal for their cutting of carbon emissions. They just promised that they would improve. And Ben Shapiro goes over this in his show. And as well as that, too, China is also... And we know that China doesn't have a good record with carbon emissions and cutting it and such and forth, and many people don't really, me included, don't think that they will seriously contribute to cutting their emissions, while the first world in the West is expected to abide both economically and also by cutting their own carbon emissions. I really think Trump is onto something when he says that we're basically being asked to put in so much of our wealth into an agreement that, first of all, does not make much of a difference if we do succeed, and second of all, that where other countries are disproportionately invested in this. And on top of that, too, another interesting thing that I want to point out is the fact that this agreement goes until about 2030, and then after that we have to hash it out even further, whether it's renegotiating or taking it upon ourselves to cut emissions. I really don't think it's necessary. I think countries should rely more on their markets to cut carbon emissions, because it's already happening. We've already the U.S. has already cut its carbon emissions. Like I said in the other video, we are already ahead of other countries. Mostly, and this is mostly for natural reasons that are taking place in the market, like natural gas being able to natural gas replacing coal and things like that, and it's making us more efficient, and our cars are becoming better. As again, as Ben Shapiro pointed out in his show, I don't want to give you all his whole argument. I want you to go check out his show, and because he lays it out pretty perfectly. But I wanted to add a couple thoughts that many people in the EU are probably stirring up a lot of this controversy that we're leaving. First of all, because it's us going against a collective, and I feel like the Europeans, a lot of the European leaders, are very collective-minded right now, and don't seem to have as much sympathy for how much it will cost the average person. This like they're asking taxpayer money to be transferred from us to bureaucrats in Europe and in the UN. Not in Europe, I'm sorry, in just the UN, and they're going to do with what they please with that money, and that money they're saying will go into industries in the third world, which we know for a fact that if China isn't going to be binded by this agreement, then you can be damn sure a lot of the third world nations that are more authoritarian will not use the money in the best ways as they can. We want to empower people in the third world. We want them to be able to create their own industries, and we want to give them incentive to improve their situations. And we can do that by, first of all, investing ourselves into energy and trading among other nations and stuff like that. I'm not an economic expert, but I feel like based on the net pros the net pro we're getting from this climate accord is just simply, it doesn't seem worth it compared to the cost. The pros and the cons are a little disproportionate, more favoring towards the cons, and I think that there are more cons than pros, and our nation could benefit greatly by investing that technology here at home, and we won't have to destroy industries that will affect working and middle class families. Because I think they've sacrificed enough, quite frankly. I don't see why we owe the third world in any sort of way. Now, like I said, I think I'm open to helping them in some sort of way. But I think we should hash out what a government organization should do versus what the private market should do. We should really be talking about that a lot more. But these days, socialism becoming socialism. My God, if I can talk, is becoming more popular among constituents both here and in Europe. And they believe that government can solve everything. And the harsh reality is, just like how the free market can't solve everything, there are cons there. There are cons with the government too. And one of those cons is that we know that government misuses money very often. And that's in free nations. In places where there are dictatorships and places where higher ups are going to be controlling the money trickle down, so to speak. It's pretty damn predictable to say that people on the ground in those countries won't be benefiting from this, and it'll just be another handout, and that will be practically it'll practically have no effect on the environment. It'll practically have no effect on the situations in those nations. We still don't know if China's going to commit, if they will, because they are the ones that really need to. Any changes that we make is going to be offset by them. I think that people should really just take a chill pill. Calm it down just a little bit. Trump is very unpopular right now, so it's easy to flip your lid on him, and it's easy to listen to the mainstream media that nobody trusted in the first place during the primaries. Now everyone is, because it's anti-Trump. And I'm talking specifically to people who supported the progressive movement, maybe more during the election. They should really think about this. And despite, like I said, I'm not trying to say there's some kind of conspiracy theory, but it really isn't far-fetched to think that everyone in Europe is flipping out because they know that the United States isn't going to be there to front most of the bill on this. So just take a look. Again, I highly recommend you check out Ben Shapiro's show episode on this, episode 311 from the Daily Wire. Very good. He lays it out a lot better than I do here. And so take a look at it. Calm it down. It's not the end of the world. This could be good for us, and we need to stay vigilant, and we need to make sure that we continue to move more towards investing in green energy. I still believe in that, of course, but we also need to be open-minded towards other energy alternatives that are starting to become more cleaner, and like natural gas and maybe fracking, things that are going to in the future make us energy independent and less reliant on other nations to import oil from. So just keep an open mind is all I'm asking. No one's saying that climate change isn't real or anything like that. Just keep an open mind. Understand that the Paris Climate Accord was more of a plan of economics and / environmental, and there are other ways that we can go about becoming greener overall as a civilization. Thank you for listening to Free Discourse Radio. This is Frank Davey with you, and I'm signing out.